Principles, morals, values. Democrat Party has none of that, nor do the feminists. And how do they get themselves into these situations where it'd be easy enough to say, you know what? Joe Biden kind of did some creepy shit there. You know, it wasn't sexual assault, but it was kind of weird. And, you know, he really needs to kind of stop sniffing hair and shit like that. Oh, no, absolutely not. We can't say that. You know why? Because feminists and Democrats, they love themselves some abortions. And if Uncle Joe Biden gets elected to the presidency in 2020, well, he's going to have a couple of picks, isn't he? Roe versus Wade, the holy sacrament of the feminazis, and the Democrats, socialists, whatever the hell they are these days. So Alyssa Milano, who has been pretty much the face of this MeToo garbage for a couple of years, you know she's a Democrat who supports abortion, right? So do you think she said something on the order of what I just mentioned about Joe Biden? Knock it off, creepy old man. Or did she try to make some excuses for Joe Biden's behavior? This is all alleged, right? You know, some women said he was kind of creepy and whatever. I get it. You see, conservatives give people the benefit of the doubt until there's proof. Let's see what Alyssa Milano has to say about Uncle Joe Biden.
And I have spoken to him about that, just not on the record on the interview.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can tell you what he said to me privately, which...
Really? Was it private, or are you sharing it now? Did he say you could say this? Oh, Alyssa.
I think, for me, I wish more men in positions of power would say out loud. He said to me, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to listen. I didn't realize that I was too affectionate. And I think that this brings up a really important question that we haven't really touched on Me Too. And
really? What happened to Matt Damon when he basically said the same thing you're about to say?
And often in these moments when we're hearing these stories, I think it's important to emphasize the difference in these stories.
Matt Damon from a couple of years ago. The man was excoriated, called a traitor, an asshole, a whatever, a this and a that, and they probably even tried to get him out of a movie. I think they did. Here's what Matt Damon said about the spectrum of Me Too.
I mean, I think we're in this watershed moment, and I think it's great, and I think it's wonderful that women who are feeling empowered to tell their stories, and it's totally necessary. I mean, you know, I think I do believe that there's a spectrum behavior, right? And we're going to have to figure out, like, what, you know, there's a difference between, you know, patting someone on the butt and rape or child molestation. Both of those behaviors need to be confronted and eradicated without question, but they shouldn't be conflated.
So, Alyssa, tell me now, you agree now with Matt Damon when you called him a shithead or whatever a few years ago? Oh, God. Okay. So there's a spectrum. So if someone, I don't know, kisses you on the arm, that could be sexual assault, couldn't it? But I think most normal people would agree that's not rape. That's what Matt Damon said, and now you agree when you're talking about the possible future president of the United States who digs him some abortions.
For me, the thing that set this story, the Miss Flores story, apart from all the other stories is, to Joe, this was a cultural difference.
Oh my God, it's a cultural difference. So Alyssa, say, I don't know, in some particular country, if their culture allows the raping of women with no penalty for that, and we just say, that's horrible, we wouldn't do that in the West, but it's their culture. Not really our thing, but it's culture. I wonder if that defense has been tried in a court of law. Someone accused of rape or something like, oh, it has. In the United Kingdom.
Because culturally, he was raised in a family that was super affectionate.
This rapist over here who did whatever he did, he was raised in a family culturally where it's okay to molest women. You're gonna stand up for that. Is that right? Now look, I am not saying Joe Biden did any of these things. It sounds like some pretty mild, creepy stuff. No sexual assault or anything like that. So please don't get me wrong. But come on, cultural? It's cultural now?
So for him, this was a realization of well, everyone sort of grows up in a different household, and maybe my actions make other people uncomfortable, and it was
Maybe.
an acknowledgement. So I think it was important that it came out, and I think that it is important to have men support women and say, I hear you, and I want to learn and make a change.
You know, I don't have to do any of that stuff, Alyssa. You know why? I don't sniff women's hair. I don't touch them without permission. I don't have to change, Alyssa. The men who do that need to change. Do you get the difference?
It also, I'm sorry, it changes my interactions as well. I mean,
Kissing someone on the arm without their permission. Last time I checked, that's workplace harassment. That's sexual harassment. That's an uncomfortable work environment, Alyssa. Did you get called into HR?
I mean, I'm a very affectionate person. I walked onto set a few weeks ago and I kissed our prop guy on the arm.
Oh, no. Not if it's a dude being sexually assaulted. That's perfectly fine, Alyssa. Why do you still have a job? Do you hold yourself to the same standards? Oh my God, no. Of course not.
And I had this moment of like, maybe that made him uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe it did. Maybe you need a trip to HR. You need to, I don't know, get some MeToo yourself, huh, Alyssa? Link below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.